Hello everyone, this is Alex from Swoosh English. Some strange reason I've got my name as AAAA on here right now, but anyway, good to see so many students in the class today. We've got lots of people on Zoom and we've got people on Facebook Live as well. Really excited because today we're going to do an OET listening class all about section B. I know we mentioned perhaps in the email you might have seen we said about part C, but we really wanted to do one of our own mock exams that our Swoosh English UK OET teachers have created. So we wanted to do this listening part B today. If you've not got access to that mock exam or you've not seen it before, I'd highly recommend you to go ahead and download that free mock exam on our website. It's swooshenglish.com/OET-mock-exams. I'm going to put it in here on Zoom for everyone, so you'll be able to follow along. So if you do want to follow along today, go ahead and download that. I'm just going to put it on Zoom for everyone, and I'll also put it on the Facebook Live video as well. So if you do want to follow along, just go ahead, click that link, and then you'll see a button that says free mock exams. Okay, free mock exams, and when you click that, then all you need to do is enter your email address, and then you'll be able to have access to it. Because if you want to follow along today with the questions, you can see them on there, but we'll also show them on screen as well. So if you do want to attempt this exam after today's class, then go ahead and you can type your name and your email details in there. Let me know when you've downloaded. Just say yes, yes, I have. You can say yes, I can access it now. Yes, I can access it now. So whether you're on Facebook or you're on Zoom, like I said, just go to that link, click free mock exam, completely free. You don't need to pay anything. Just put your email in, and then you can access today's listening and reading mock exams, but we'll only be covering the listening exam today. So we've got lots of people who are here. Please introduce yourself. We've got Amina Khalid saying hi. We've got a lot of people here in the Zoom class, over 60 people in the Zoom class. We've got Zoe, we've got Sadia Mushtaq saying hello, Haranga. Who else have we got? Please introduce yourself. Danius, one of our writing OET students. Deepika. Danius, good luck for your exam tomorrow. And if you are having your exam tomorrow, fingers crossed, as we say in the UK. I hope you get the scores that you're looking for, which of course all of you in here are looking for 4 Bs in reading, writing, listening, speaking, or even A's. We've got Maisa, Tina, Jancy, Joseph. We've got Ahmed, Shinsi, Amina, preparing for February, Nilu, Raluka, Ruth. Ruth is one of our IELTS students. I'm surprised you're in here, Ruth, but maybe you were just interested to see what was going on. Christine, Alisa, Pui, Ahmed. Ahmed Abbas, one of our VIP students. Fingers crossed for you tomorrow, Dr. Ahmed. I'm sure you will pass with us. You've been doing really well from what our teacher, Stephen, has been telling me. Sebastian, Neethu, lots and lots of people. Let's see who we've got on Facebook Live. Okay, and if you do want to access the mock exams, as I mentioned, go to swooshenglish.com/OET-mock-exams. We've got Bushra. Okay, yeah, you can click on that, Maisa. Click on that free mock exam section. Okay, click on that, and then you'll be able to put your name and your details on there. Let's see who we've got on Facebook Live. Okay, we've got May, we've got Rand, Zakia, Sentilas Mohammed, Saman, oh, Dr. Gladys, good to see Dr. Gladys, Kashif, Rafat, Bindu, lots and lots of people, Shima, Asma's got her exam tomorrow, fingers crossed, Asma. Mary saying hi, Syed Ali, lots and lots of people, fantastic. So listening is going to be the topic that we're going to be covering today. Lots of people always wanting a lot of help with listening 2.0 since the format changed in September of last year. So we're here to support you. We're going to go through some tips today with our UK OET teacher, Alex. If anyone came to the class last week, it was last week. And no, sorry, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, just at the end of last year, we had Alex doing an OET class. If you've been to one of Alex's classes before, not this Alex, another Alex we've got as one of our UK OET teachers. If you came to his class before and you found it beneficial, which a lot of students did at that time, please let me know in the chat box below, and let any other students who are new to this class know how much you got out of the class. Did it help you? Did it benefit you? You know, we try to give as much free help as we can, because we know a lot of students can't afford our courses and mock exams and classes, etc. So if you did benefit from those free classes with Alex or any of our other teachers, please let me know what you thought of it in the comment section. Was it good? Was it bad? Could it be better? Please let us know. Ranga has got her exam tomorrow, is worried about reading and listening. Hopefully we can help you today, Ranga. Please download those free mock exams that we've got on our website. Okay, and again, so basically we've got these free mock exams on our website, swooshenglish.com/OET-mock-exams. I'm going to put it on Facebook here, because we are going to be covering a listening mock exam, a mini mock exam today, which you can get on our website for free, swooshenglish.com. You don't need to pay anything for them. swooshenglish.com/OET. And let me know when you've downloaded it. So say I have downloaded it in the chat box. Mock-exams. Okay, I'm just posting it on Facebook Live now. So if you want to go ahead and access that. But on our website, we do have 6 full mock exams for reading, writing, listening, speaking, along with mock exam analysis videos. So if you're not so interested in the free one and you just want, because the free one is a mini one, if you want a full length OET mock exam, just like the real exam, and you want 6 of them, then that's also on the same page, OET-mock-exams on our Swoosh English website. So we've got other people saying hi, Marwa, Camille, Dr. Camille, Reno, Nitish. Nitish is one of our students, I think. Gulrays, who else have we got? Susan's got her exam tomorrow. Good luck to you, Susan. Saddam, I want to take unlimited writing corrections. Yeah, I can help you with that later on. Saddam, you can go to our website, swooshenglish.com, and I think you're a doctor, I'm guessing, so you can go to our doctor sales page and look more into that. Zakia said, how much are the mock exams? We've got 6 mock exams on our website, Zakia, for $99. And also at the moment, we're giving our $99 video course for reading, writing, listening, speaking completely free on our website. Okay, so if you join the $99 mock exam, 6 mock exam package, then you get our $99 video course completely free as an extra bonus. So go ahead if you want to look into that. Ucharia said hi, Ali said hi, Shali said hi. Okay, awesome. So please let me know, have you downloaded the free mock exam for listening? Because that's what we are going to be covering today. We're going to be giving you tips and advice, what is involved in OET listening, and we'll do a mock exam, analyze it, look at who got the right answers and who got the wrong answers. So we're going to do some practice today together as well. So please make sure you share this Facebook Live video today. Okay, so share it to your Facebook page so we can help other people with this free class. Like I said, we want to help as many people as possible. If you want to come to, if you're in the Facebook Live class and you want to come inside the Zoom class to have more of an interactive experience and you'll be able to ask me questions, then you can go to swooshenglish.com/free class. And I'm going to put that link inside the chat box. Okay, /free class. So you can access that if you want to come along. And also, we're doing this class in collaboration with OET World, which is a fantastic Facebook group where they can help you free of charge with lots of OET help, advice, tips. Kumar and his team do a fantastic job, and you can join their group. And Kumar, if you can put your link inside the Facebook group, they've got nearly 50,000 members. And also, I'm very excited to let you know about a competition that we're running at the end of the class. So if you stay to the end of the class, I'll tell you a little bit more about a free competition, how you can win a $299 OET mock exam package. So all of our mock exams, video courses, and our brand new OET benchmark exam worth nearly $300. And we're going to give one nurse, one lucky nurse, and one lucky doctor this competition prize. So if you do want to have access to that, I'm very excited to announce that at the end of today's session. Like I said, we're always trying to help you as much as possible. So if you want to win that, just let me know in the chat box. Say yes, I want to win, and we will do that for you at the end. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to bring Alex into our class now. We've got nearly 75 people on Zoom, over 50, nearly 60 people on Facebook Live. So great amount of people who are ready for today's class. Okay. So if you want to get the free mock exam, you have to go swooshenglish.com. I'm going to give it to you, swooshenglish.com/OET-mock-exams, and then click the button where it says free mock exams. Okay, anyway, I'm going to bring our teacher Alex into today's session now and see if he's here. Okay, let's see where he is. Okay, so while we're in here, make sure you join OET World, as I mentioned. I'm just going to be bringing Alex into the session. Okay, he's just coming into the class. Okay, so I'm going to be bringing him in a second when he joins. Okay, but for the time being, so we've got lots of people saying, Rahana, Mode, Centilas, I want to win. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, lots of people saying they want to win. We're going to announce that at the end. So that you're going to have access to 6 complete mock exams as part of this competition. All of our video courses for OET, and also our brand new OET benchmark exam, where you can understand the level that you are at right now. So what level you are at and how far away you are from getting an A or B in your exam. So this will really help you to understand whether you should go ahead and book your exam now or whether you should wait a few more months. So this will really help you to make sure that you don't keep paying for many exams, because it costs $500 US dollars every time you take the exam, which is, is a lot of money. So you want to make sure that when you do go ahead and take your exam, that you can pass first time. Okay, so this benchmark exam will help you a lot. Okay, fantastic. So please let us know who's got their exam tomorrow in the chat box. So lots of people on Zoom saying, I want to win. Bushra, Amadi, fantastic. Okay, so who has got their exam tomorrow and what are you struggling with? Okay, so we can help you today. Like I said, we are covering mainly the OET listening examination, but if we can help you in any other areas, then we would love to do that. Okay, I'm going to bring in our teacher Alex, okay, into the class. So hopefully he will be able to see us. Alex, and I'm going to make you co-host, Alex, so you can turn on your video. Okay, you should be able to turn on your video now, Alex, if you are there. Hello, Alex, are you there?
Hi, yeah.
Fantastic. Alex, so great to have you back in our Facebook Live classes, and we're doing on Zoom as well. I think this is the 3rd time you've done a class with us. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So we try to have different teachers coming on these Facebook Live sessions with me. We had a great reaction from a lot of the students who came to the classes before when Alex was teaching, and so we wanted to bring him on again. So today's class is all about OET listening part B. So I'm going to hand you over to Alex. Has anyone been taught by Alex before? Say yes in the chat box or say no in the chat box. But if anyone, Alex, has not come across you in your teaching before for OET, could you just give them a brief introduction about your experience and how you can help them today?
Sure. So I've been involved with the OET since last year, I'd say for the last sort of 8-9 months. And obviously I've seen the change in the OET exam from the previous form in which it was in, and how it's changed, particularly in relation to listening and reading, and how those parts of the test now are much more based on the Cambridge model than they were previously. Which links back to some previous experience that I've had. I worked in Ecuador, Guayaquil for 5 years, preparing students for Cambridge ESOL exams and IELTS exams as well. And so I've been in China as well, doing similar things in terms of IELTS preparation. So
fantastic.
Yeah, happy
there's
to
a lot of similarities between OET and IELTS, and Alex has been helping a lot of our students to pass the OET exam. Very interesting enough. Well, and just before we get on to Alex's class, we're both called Alex, and we've both been growing our beards, which we've not. Well, Alex has had his before, and we were talking about how itchy it can be. So if there's any male doctors or nurses watching right now who are in this situation, to get over the itch, and especially in the winter in England, it's good to have a little bit of warmth on your face as well.
Definitely.
Okay, Alex, so I'm going to hand the class over to you for OET listening. Is everybody ready to start? Say, yes, I am ready in the chat box if you're on Facebook or Zoom, because we are going to get started now.
Okay, so hi guys, it's great to be here. Today we're focusing on listening part B, and I'm going to start by giving a brief description, just for those who are not as familiar with the exam, and then I'll be looking at some tips and some ways of best managing this section of the exam. So first of all, then, listening part B has 6 questions from the listening exam. There's 42 in total. 6 of them are in part B, and they're all based on a multiple choice format. So you're going to have 3 options for each of them, A, B, or C, and you have to choose which one you think is the correct answer once you've listened to the recording. And if you get it correct, then you'll get the mark. For part B, you're going to hear 6 separate recordings. So you should be listening and answering as you're working through it. So you wouldn't want to wait until all the recordings have played before you answer. You want to be answering the questions as you're listening. So it's very much a case of active listening. You've got to listen very closely, very carefully. You make your selection, you move on to the next question. The recording for each of the questions is between 40 to 60 seconds. So they're quite short, but what that means is, of course, that you have to be listening very closely and with a lot of detail and attention in order to make sure that you get the correct answer. If there's any moment where you stop paying attention, you're going to miss it, and therefore you're going to miss an important mark for this section of the test. Those interactions, 40 to 60 seconds, they could be monologues. It could just be one person speaking, or it could be a dialogue involving 2 people, an interaction of sorts. So there's a mixture of different things that you could be hearing. But all of the recordings will be set in a healthcare setting. So it could be a doctor talking to a patient, or it could be a nurse talking to a head nurse, something of that nature. It's all going to be in a healthcare setting. That's the point. So with listening part B, as I've said before, one of the things that can be a little bit challenging is the fact that although it's short, that in itself can be difficult, because it's making sure that you're able to pick out the information that you need to be able to pick out in a relatively short period of time before moving on to the next question. It could be, for example, that the recording starts mid-conversation. So a conversation between 2 nurses, it could be sort of picking up that conversation just for sort of 60 seconds within what is a sort of a much larger dialogue, which, you know, might be going on for minutes, but you're only getting a slice of that conversation. So you've got to be able to tune in and adapt and to relate to what is being said as quickly as possible. And you've got to be able to pick up on things like context as well. And you've got to be able to do all of these things quite quickly. So in terms of the sorts of questions that you're going to get, one of the things that you want to be thinking about here is very, very carefully is what exactly is the question asking? Okay, so we're going to have a look at some examples in just a moment. But it seems like quite an obvious thing to say, but it's a really important thing, because if you haven't read the question really carefully, then we're not going to be in a good position to get the answer. So you're going to have time before the recording plays where you can read the question. So you want to read it really carefully. You want to decide, okay, what is the question asking? Who does it refer to? And also you're going to be thinking about something called function. So what is the function of the question? So to illustrate this, I'm going to use an example, and we're not necessarily going to listen to the recording for this. This is the OET sample, but it just illustrates what I'm conveying here. So if we look at question 25, this is the first question from section B. It says, you hear a nurse briefing her colleague about a patient. What does she warn her colleague about? So the key word here in the question, well, there's a few key words, but one of them is warn. That tells us the function. So it gives us some information about how the exchange is going to occur. A warning is going to happen. So we might think to ourselves, okay, what kind of words could be used to give a warning? What kind of interaction am I going to hear? It could be words like, you must make sure that you, or if you do this, then. So you can start to prepare yourself for some of the language that you might hear that would relate to a warning. Also, you have the context just before the question, where it tells you you're going to hear a nurse briefing her colleague. So straight away, that just kind of helps you to prepare for what kind of interaction you're going to hear. So a nurse is briefing her colleague. So it's likely that this could be a monologue, just the nurse speaking. The colleague may be responding, but the main speaking is going to be based on the nurse. So straight away, we can start to think about what setting it's going to be. Okay, a nurse is going to be warning her colleague about something in the context of a workplace briefing. And the more that psychologically we're prepared for what we're going to hear, the easier it's going to be to access the information once the information is played in the recording. So if we're clear then about the context, in terms of what's happening, and then we're clear about what the question is focusing on. Okay, what does the nurse, she, warn her colleague about? Now we want to have a look at the options. Again, we're going to have time before the recording plays to do all of this. So it's something that we should be using that time for. We shouldn't be sort of waiting for the recording to start, maybe just kind of thinking about something else or sort of staring off into the distance. We should be very much reading the questions and reading the options so that we're as familiar as possible with what we're going to hear before we actually hear it. So looking at the options then, A, B, and C, the patient is allergic to some types of antibiotics, A. B, care needs to be taken to prevent the patient from falling, or C, oxygen may be needed if the patient becomes breathless, okay? So all of these are going to be possible options. We need to listen carefully in order to make sure that we are going to select the correct one. When we're making the decision, two of these options are going to be distractors. So it's possible that we're going to hear elements from two of these options, but they will be in a context which does not answer the question. So it might be that the nurse is just providing information about A and B, for example, but C is something which the nurse is warning about. Or it may be that A and B, the nurse is actually saying, you know, these things are not issues. So then she's mentioning them in a negative context, whereas C she mentions in a positive context. Okay, so these are some of the things that we have to be prepared for, is that two of these options, even though the vocabulary will be mentioned, will not, when we listen to the wider context, be the correct answer. And that's one of the key things with section B, is the fact that you're not listening just for specific information. For those who are familiar with section A, you'll know that you're listening for just one word or a particular phrase, which allows you to fill the gaps in a set of notes. For part B, that's not the case. For part B, you need to be listening very carefully to the entire interaction, the entire recording, because the sort of skill that is being tested here is the skill of listening for detail. So being able to pick up on the difference between the nurse in this case mentioning something because it's not an issue and mentioning something because it is an issue. or it could be sort of being able to pick up on the intention of the speaker. So it's not just what does the speaker say, but why is the speaker saying it? What is the main focus of the speaker's interaction? And that's also something that we need to be able to pick up on. So it's these detailed skills, these skills of being able to pick out information, not just from listening to a set phrase, but from being able to listen to the entire context. So I'm just having a look here. I see some questions have come up. So first tell us, we have to write on the booklet and shift to answer book, or to, yeah, okay. So in terms of answering the questions for part B, you answer as you're listening. So you're going to have the questions and then the answers, but basically you've got to shade what's known as a lozenge or lozenge. So shade one of the spaces. It's going to be A, B, or C. You just shade which one you think is correct. Move on to the next question. If you change your mind, you can just either you're using sort of pencil, so you can rub it out, or just draw a cross through it and then shade another lozenge. But you don't get the opportunity to spend time filling in an answer book after you've listened. You have to answer the questions as you're listening. You will get 2 minutes at the end of the listening test to check your answers, but that's it. Apart from that, you need to be answering the questions as you're going along. So as I said, what you're listening for here is not just listening for specific words and phrases, but you're listening for the wider context. So what that means is that there will be paraphrasing within these questions. So if the answer to 25, for example, is A, you're not going to hear the nurse say, be careful because the patient is allergic to some types of antibiotics. That's going to be paraphrased in a different way. So it could be, for example, a reference word instead of patient. So, so you must take care with her as a result of an allergic reaction that she has expressed to these medicines. Okay, so it's going to be something which, yeah, the answer is there. The answer is always going to be there, but the words that are going to be used aren't necessarily going to be the exact words that are used in the option. So you have to be able to recognize that paraphrasing, and you have to be able to recognize how meaning can be expressed using different words. And that's one of the key things that's going to come up in part B. I can just see another question. Yeah, can I mark anything or underline? Yeah, you can write whatever you want to write on the question paper. That's not a problem. If you want to write some notes on the question paper or something of that nature, that's absolutely fine. The only thing that's going to get marked is where you've filled in the lozenge A, B, or C, and that's it. So any notes that you make on the question paper will be ignored. If you sort of, you know, if you circle the question paper but you don't fill in the separate lozenge, then that will be ignored as well. So yeah, do make sure that you're filling in those lozenges A, B, or C for each of the questions to make sure that your answers are taken into account. So I've talked about function in the case of 25, and we can see that it was a warning in this case that we're listening out for. So we can think of language which relates to a warning. If we scroll down to 26, we can have a look at another example here. So it says here, you hear the manager of a care home for the elderly talking to the nursing staff. She says that errors in dispensing medication to patients usually result from. Okay, so in this case, what function are we listening out for, do we think? She's, you know, if you want to write in the chat what you think, that would be great. So she says that errors in dispensing medication to patients usually result from, and then we've got our options here. So the use of the verb say is quite important here, as opposed to using warn. And also we have the context. You hear the manager of a care home for the elderly talking to the nursing staff. So it seems like it's more of an information providing exchange, which is a little bit more neutral. So it's providing information rather than sort of giving a specific warning for a specific patient. So there's going to be a certain level of urgency for the previous one in 25. For 26, what is being expressed is more general. So there's going to be a more neutral tone to it. So again, if you're thinking about this in your mind, this can help you as you prepare yourself for the listening in terms of what you're going to hear and how things are going to be expressed. So the function here would be to advise, most likely, or to provide information. In terms of also looking at the sort of genre, what's the interaction, how many people are speaking, what's the context for the interaction? Well, it tells us here the manager of a care home talking to nursing staff. So it looks again like it's very likely to be a monologue, because it's one person talking to a group of people. Unlikely that that group is going to have much of an opportunity to interject or to contribute. It's most likely just going to be information being provided by one person to a group of people, so we can prepare ourselves for that as well. Think, okay, most likely I'm going to be listening to a monologue, and that person is going to be providing information to fellow professionals. Because it's a professional talking to other professionals, it's likely there's going to be a use of perhaps some technical language, so we can start to prepare ourselves in that respect as well. So in these ways, we can analyze the questions even before we listen. And what this helps us to do is to become more comfortable and more familiar with what we are about to hear. Because remember, the actual listening takes place over 40 to 60 seconds. So we need to be making best use of possible of our preparation time before we listen. Let's just have a look at one more example from the sample test here. And here it says, you hear part of a morning briefing on a hospital ward. What is the plan for the patient today? So again, if we're thinking about the function, okay, what is happening in this interaction? Why is this interaction happening? Again, you've got someone providing information, haven't you? It's a plan for today. So it's going to be very specifically focused. There's going to be a certain amount of urgency you would expect, because everyone needs to know what they're going to be doing and how they're going to be operating. So again, we can start to think about it. We can start to access the context a little bit. A morning briefing on a hospital ward. So again, professionals talking to other professionals. So we can expect the language to perhaps include some professional terminology as a result. And again, we can start to prepare ourselves. I can see that Rita I've got is starting to write the answers. Of course, we don't know what the answers are going to be until we've listened to the recording, but we can also look at the options, as I was saying before, in order to start preparing ourselves for maybe some of the paraphrasing we're going to hear. So if we do that for 27, so the plan for the patient today, her emotional state will be carefully observed. She'll be transferred to a more specialized unit. Or C, a social worker will come to see what help she needs. So let's say, for example, we're focusing on A here, her emotional state will be carefully observed. What we want to be thinking about now is, how might that be paraphrased? Because again, as I said, if this is the correct answer, it's very unlikely, read pretty much, it's not going to happen, that the speaker is going to say, today, we will be assessing the patient and her emotional state will be carefully observed. No, different words will be used to convey the same meaning. So what we want to be doing in sort of practice and preparation is thinking, how might different words be used? How could this be paraphrased? Because if you start thinking in this way, then you can start to prepare yourself for what you're actually going to listen to. And anyone want to make any suggestions as to which words here could be paraphrased? What other ways might we say emotional state? Are there any synonyms we can think of for observed? What do we think?
Thank you very much, Alex. Yeah, I'm very much urging all of the students, whether you're in Zoom in the class right now or you're on Facebook Live, please get involved as much as possible, okay? Don't just watch these sessions. We want you to be as interactive as possible, because the more you put into the class, the more that you answer questions and take part in the exercises, the more that your OET skills and performance are going to improve. So Alex, what I'll do is I will tell you what people are writing on Facebook Live. Great. And you can have a look at the messages on Zoom. So if you just want to repeat those instructions again, Alex, so that everyone can fully understand.
Absolutely. So let's imagine we're listening to question 27, we're looking at option A, and we're thinking to ourselves, okay, the speaker is not going to say these exact words in the interaction. So what synonyms, what other ways might they express the same idea, but using different words? So for example, how might emotional state be paraphrased so it's got the same meaning, but a different word or phrase is used, for example? And yeah, I can see some good suggestions here now. So emotional state, possibly mental, possibly that could come up. Status as well. So mental status or emotional status might come up. Brilliant. Behavioral changes. Very good suggestion. That was Maysoon. That was good. Observed. Yeah, instead of observed, monitored. That's Sebastian. Yeah, absolutely.
Really good.
Yeah, some really good stuff. Yeah.
We've got a few things on Facebook Live. Maud Kader Khan said behavioral changes instead of emotion. CG John said monitored. Bijimol, psychological condition. Madalena said mood.
Good.
Zakia asked a question. How many questions do we have to answer correctly to get a grade B? So OET recommend around about the low 30s, so around about 31, 32 plus out of 42 would get you your grade B, okay, in listening and reading. But that they're only predictions. We can never say for certain.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And so that means with section B, because you've only got 6 questions, you want to be getting the majority of them correct. So if you're getting 5 out of 6, then you're well on course for getting that grade B or A, especially if you're getting 6 out of 6 for this particular section. So good. So that's exactly the sort of things that you want to be doing then. So well done to those who've put forward those suggestions. That you know, those monitored and feelings and you know, status, those are the sorts of words that could be used to convey the same meaning, and would therefore let us realize that option A is correct, even though the words used are different, because it is listening for the meaning, it's listening for the overall detail and not just listening for a specific word or phrase. So yeah, I've got Prabha here. At times it's very hard to eliminate answer options. It is difficult. It is. One of the things to listen out for is the difference between negative and positive. So sometimes other options are mentioned, but it could be, let's say, for example, with 27, what is the plan for the patient today? Let's imagine sort of B, should be transferred to a more specialized unit. So it might be something such as this would be said. So part of the plan today is that the patient will need to be moved to a different unit. However, that's proving to be difficult because of the number of patients. So actually that's something we're going to have to look at later. Okay, so if all you're doing is listening to the first part, then you're going to think, oh, great, B, I've heard it. But you have to listen to the entire message. And if the rest of the message actually contradicts what came at the beginning, then obviously you can't put B as an answer. So I think that's one of the things you really have to do, is you have to listen to the entire message. Don't just react to specific words or phrases and then say, great, I've got my answer. Wait until you've heard it all. And then once you've heard everything, and if you listen carefully to everything, then you're going to be in a stronger position to write the answer. Some of the mistakes that students have made in the past is they've heard what they think is the answer. They then choose A, B, or C, and then they stop. And they're not listening to the rest of it. And that's where they've made a mistake, because for part B, you need to be listening to the entire section before you can make an informed decision as to which option is correct. So listen out for things like, you know, contradictory linking phrases, so such as however, but, nevertheless, things like this, which will be used to contradict information which you've heard previously, which has made you think, oh yes, this is the correct answer, because that's a classic way of providing a distractor. Also, listening out for tone can be important as well. Not everybody finds this easy to do, because, you know, listening out for tone is something which is, it can be a little bit complicated, but message will be conveyed using tone of voice. So if someone uses a tone such as, so the patient really needs to be transferred to a specialized unit, but it is going to be a little bit difficult. You know, just that kind of falling tone often expresses something which is negative, generally speaking. Okay. And so by picking up on that tone, we might think, okay, I didn't hear every single word. And sometimes it can be challenging to hear every single word, but the tone is making me feel that is something actually that wasn't the ultimate resolution. Because of that kind of falling tone, it made me feel that maybe there was something there which was unresolved. And so I'll keep listening, and maybe one of the other options will come across more clearly. So yeah, just anonymous attendee here. How much mark? So how many marks do you need to get a B? Yeah, I think that was Alex answered that before. So you need in the 30s overall for listening part B in order to be sort of on course for that 5 out of 6 is what you want to be aiming for. Okay, so that's one of the things to be focusing on when it comes to listening part B. Listen to the entire interaction, not just certain parts of it. And in doing that, you're going to be in a stronger position to be able to get the correct answer. So I think this will be a good moment to actually do some practice questions now. We're going to do 3 questions, and I'm going to play the recording. And what I want you to do is to tell me which is the correct option, A, B, or C. So what you'll need to be doing is you'll need to be listening very carefully, as I've said before, to the entire interaction. Even before that, what you need to be doing is reading the question very carefully, thinking about what is the function. Am I going to be listening to a warning? Am I going to be listening to someone giving advice? Am I going to be listening to someone providing information? The interaction, who is it between? Is it between a patient and a doctor? Is it between 2 doctors? Is it between 2 nurses? Is it between a nurse and a carer? Okay, because that's going to determine the sort of language you hear, how specialized it is. And then obviously, as we've just been discussing, start thinking about paraphrasing as well. How might some of the options be paraphrased? And if you make those sorts of predictions, then you just might put yourself in a position where you'll be able to hear what you've predicted, which obviously is going to make it easier to get the correct option. We've just got a couple of questions. Yeah, where are the questions? Can you please pull them up on display? Yep. So I'm going to put the questions up now, and so we can just have a look at that.
Thanks,
now.
Alex. Yeah, make sure everybody has downloaded, signed up to the free mock exam that we've got for you. So swooshenglish.com/OET-mock-exams. I'm going to put that into the description box again, and I'll put it on Facebook Live as well. So literally, as you see this link, just put it in. Once you come up on the website, you'll see a button that says at the top free mock exam. Just click that button and then just put your email in, and then you'll be able to access that. Even after today's class, you can then go ahead and attempt that mock exam. That's completely free. Okay, so I'll also put that on Facebook Live for everyone. So is everyone ready to take part in today's exercise today? Please, like I said before, I want to repeat what I said, that it's really important not to just come to these classes and watch Alex and I, but also to take part and practice, because this is a really good opportunity for people who've got maybe their exam coming up tomorrow, next month, the month after that, and really good opportunity. So definitely grab it while it's there.
Okay, so I'm going to pull up the questions now. Just before I do, I've just got anonymous attendee who has asked whether we should read just the question and then listen, or read the question and the answers, if you have enough time. So that's the key, isn't it? It's about the time. My advice is read the question. That's the most important thing. So you're really clear about what you're going to answer. Then also do read the options as well, so that you know what you're listening for. It has to be one of those 3 options, the answer to the question. So yeah, get familiar with the options as well before you listen. And then as you're listening, you know what the question is, and you're just trying to make the best decision in terms of matching either A, B, or C, which is the correct answer, with what you've heard. Okay. So we're going to do the test now, Ahmed, and I'm going to bring it up. So if you have access to the mock exam, as Alex was just saying, then have a look at that now, section B. But I'm also going to share this on my screen too, so that you can see it here. So let me just bring that up. Okay, so you should all be able to see that now on the screen. The listening practice test 1, it says here, and the part B section, which we're going to look at. So you're always going to get the instructions for the test, so you know exactly what it is that you should be doing. So before you listen to the recordings, obviously just make sure you're really clear about what you have to do. Okay, you're choosing A, B, or C. You mark the answer paper, the lozenge in terms of which is correct, and then let's move on. So for question 25, let's focus on this. So you hear a school nurse briefing staff about a new policy. Okay, so that's your context. It's a briefing. The information she wants them to communicate to students relates to. Okay, so take a moment to read the question, make sure you're really clear about who the interaction is between, who is speaking to whom, and have a look at the options as well so you're familiar with the options. We're going to listen in a moment so that you can make the decision as to which you think is correct, A, B, or C. Okay, so we've read the question. I'm going to sort of talk us through this one as it's the first one. So in the chat, can somebody tell me then what kind of interaction are we listening to here? Are we listening to? Are we likely to hear specialized language in this interaction? What do we think? Anyone with any ideas? Okay, we've got some people here saying we're going to hear giving information. Yep, absolutely. Okay, good. And how many speakers are you expecting? Good, someone said yes, professional language. Why? Why do we think it's likely we're going to hear some professional language here? Any ideas? Okay. We'll come back. Yeah, okay, so I've got, Waranga here, well done, because they're all professionals. So there isn't, in this case, a patient to worry about. We don't need to worry about using too much kind of technical language because they're all professionals working in the same profession. So it's possible that we will hear some specialized language, although it won't stop us from being able to get the question correct. In terms of number of speakers, most people are saying they're expecting to hear one speaker. I think that's a pretty good prediction. Because ultimately it's someone giving a briefing. So similar to one of the examples we looked at before, it's unlikely there's going to be a lot of interaction from those who are listening. So yeah, one main speaker, I think is a good prediction as well. So let's listen then to this question 25. And I want you to decide which you think is the correct answer, A, B, or C. Actually, sorry, just before we do that, one other thing. Any predictions in terms of paraphrasing? Any sort of, options A, B, or C? Any ideas that you've got there about how it might be paraphrased? What might be used, for example, instead of saying checking, what could be used in place of that? So food content instead of food ingredients, that's good. Monitoring, to monitor instead of check, possibly. Inspect, yep, that's a pretty good one. Yeah, that's closer to checking perhaps than monitoring. Testing, a little bit different, but I guess it depends on the context. But so it could fit, I guess. To observe, check is probably a little bit more active than observe. If you observe something, that's more of a passive thing. If you're checking, you're actively getting involved. But yeah, okay, some good suggestions here. So let's listen then, and see which one is correct. A, B, or C.
delivered by the UK OET experts at swooshenglish.com.
So just checking, can everybody hear that? If you can hear it, if you just type yes in the chat.
Yeah, I can hear it, Alex.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
And is strictly under the ownership and copyright of Swoosh English.
Part B. In this part of the test, you'll hear 6 different extracts. In each extract, you'll hear people talking in a different healthcare setting. For questions 25 to 30, choose the answer A, B, or C, which fits best according to what you hear. You'll have time to read each question before you listen. Complete your answers as you listen.
Sorry, Alex, can you put the volume up a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as much as you can, basically.
You hear a school nurse briefing the staff about a new policy.
Is that better?
Yeah. Is that maximum? Yeah.
Now
That's
the question.
yeah, that's
Perfect.
max. Yeah.
Perfect.
Cool.
As you know, we've introduced a new menu in the cafeteria this year that aims to cater for students with food allergies. So we're offering gluten-free and nut-free dishes every lunchtime and break time. We've sent a letter home to parents to inform them of this and to ask them to make us aware of any allergies their children suffer from. However, we can't control the food that gets brought into school. So make sure you tell your pupils not to accept any food from their classmates between lessons if they have any kind of food allergy. You should also find out if anyone in your classes brings an EpiPen to school and let me know the type and dosage so we can be prepared for any incidents of allergic reaction.
Okay. So just type your answer then. What do you think? A, B, or C? Okay.
Wow, lots of answers coming through. Rapid fire.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of B's, a few A's interspersed amongst them. Not many for C.
And also, I'm curious to know: can anyone say what the accent was? Do you know which country the female speaker was from? Can anyone say?
I've got someone saying Australian here. A few Australian. Yeah.
Okay. We'll reveal the answer in a minute. Africa. Interesting.
American.
British, UK. No idea. Okay. Do you want to reveal the answer, Alex? Well, for the accent first.
Yeah, well, Australian, it certainly sounded to me.
Yeah, it's a weaker Australian accent, but definitely, yeah, it's Australian.
Yeah. Well done for those who detected the Aussies. Okay, so going back to the answers then, I saw a lot of people putting B, a few A's coming up there as well. So yeah, the answer was not many people putting C. And for those who put B, well done. The answer was B, okay? Sharing food during the breaks. Can anyone kind of just very quickly share any sort of words or phrases they heard that helped them get the answer? We're going to have a quick look at the transcript in just a moment. Yeah, was there any reasons as to why you chose B? Let's have a look. Eat from someone's box, not to share food during the break. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So it was very much giving a negative instruction, wasn't it, in terms of what they shouldn't be doing. So if we just have a quick look at the audio script, just so we can see exactly why the answer was B. I'm just going to bring that up now. Okay. So it's question 25. Yeah. Okay. So we sent a letter home to parents to inform them of this. However, we can't control the food that gets brought into school. So make sure you tell your pupils not to accept any food from their classmates. So it wasn't actually using the word share. that was where the paraphrasing came in. But yeah, don't accept. If you don't accept something, then it means that you're not able to share it because it hasn't been accepted. And instead of saying at breaks, they said between lessons. So between lessons, what happens between lessons? Well, there are breaks, aren't there? So that's how the answer is going to be paraphrased in terms of being able to pick up what is correct. Just looking at some of the comments here. Yeah, not share food. Exactly, was the thing that helped us in this respect. So well done to those that got B. Alex mentioned the accent. Actually, that is an important point. You're going to hear a variety of accents because you've got sort of six short dialogues. You know, it could be Australian, it could be British, it could be American. So being familiar with the different accents is something which is definitely going to be helpful. And just at the end, I'll share a resource with you so you can sort of practice listening to some different accents. Okay, but let's move on to the next question now then, and see how we do with this one. So we're going to be looking now at question 27. So I'm going to talk you through this a little bit less. I'm going to give you a little bit more independence here. I'm just going to give you a little bit of time to read the question. So 27, which you should be able to see here. Make sure you're reading the context. You feel clear about the function. You feel like you've got an idea in terms of how many people are going to be speaking. Do you think it's likely to be 1 or 2? And also start thinking about some ideas for paraphrasing. So I'm just going to give you about 30 seconds to have a look at it, and then we'll listen to the recording. Ranga, I'm glad you're feeling more confident now. Good. Good. That's really good to read. And you as well, Kokila. Okay, so you've had about 30 seconds. So we're going to listen now then to question 27. A, B, or C?
Question 27. You hear a pediatrician briefing her colleagues about a patient. Now read the question.
Mark is a previously healthy 9-year-old boy who came in 3 days ago with pain on urination and some fever, and then yesterday developed nausea and vomiting and was really unable to keep anything down. When he came to A&E, he was tachycardic and was diagnosed with pyelonephritis. Since then, he's been improving with antibiotics and IV hydration, which will continue. If he's able to drink a little more this morning, we can turn down his fluids, and he can be discharged tomorrow if he's able to drink a little more on his own. When we get the urine culture back, we'll know what type of bacteria is causing the infection. Then we'll be able to choose the right kind of antibiotics to send him home with.
Okay, so A, B, or C? Okay, a lot of A's coming up here. Couple of C's, but most people are saying A. We've got a B there as well. Okay.
On Facebook Live, Alex, I've got A's coming through. Nitish Goria, Centilas, Mode, Tasneem, one of our VIP doctors on our program, she said A. Talsit, also one of our VIP students, said A. Bijimal, A. Yeah, lots of A's. Debbie, Kadka. Yeah, lots of people saying A. Shally, Thomas, etc.
Wow. Okay, good. Yeah, most people here saying A as well. Shinsi, Faiz. Yeah, lots of people coming up with A. Okay. Congratulations. A was the correct answer. And we can just have a quick look at the audio script just to help to identify that. As I do switch on to the audio script, anyone want to suggest some words, again, paraphrasing that they heard that helped them get the answer? Just type that in. as I just bring this up. Discharge, go home, perfect. Hydration, very nice. Okay, yeah, absolutely. So if we just have a look here, we can see, can't we? So we've got a description of the patient and